How are we going to do this together? And so amongst the options here is not just to vent and talk about what we need, but also how we're going to come together and do. Rosa Parks and the community of Alabama, of Montgomery, Alabama, did not have a lot of money. Remember, these were people who were the poorest of the poor. They were in the segregated South, okay? They had no civil rights. And in spite of all those burdens, they made a way. They made a way. They relied upon one another. They relied upon their faith in one another. That faith is how it protected them through slavery. It protected them from the Klan, through all sorts of brutality and deprivation because of their race. And out of it came rules and a regulatory framework called Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Very powerful rule. But now, how do we leverage that rule and that power right now? How do we build this movement right now? Now, I'm hoping that throughout the afternoon we have an opportunity to talk about, strategizing, but that, I think, is just the surface or just the beginning of the conversation. Right now, we need to talk about and study what has those past movements done and what sacrifices they had to engage in order to make manifest what we now enjoy. We would not have had the Civil Rights Act without Rosa on a bus, okay, in Montgomery, Alabama. Right? We would not have civil rights. And remember, these aren't black rights. These are civil rights, rights for all Americans. They moved that bar of inequality out of the way so that we all would have that equal and just access regardless of ability, orientation, gender, race, creed, color, or background. And so we now have to ask that fight again. Transportation is just one sector that we have to make this fight, but it's a critical sector. It is a critical carbon emitting sector. It is one that we can solve many problems in our society and lift up many boats in our society and in this great state of Wisconsin, should we all come together. So organized labor needs to be in this room. Organized labor needs to be, the bus unions need to be in this room. The churches need to be in this room. Community groups need to be in this room. Civil rights organizations, the NAACP needs to be in this room. We can no longer afford to say, well, that's not my space, place, or background. But as Dr. King and John Muir point out through their words at different points in time, it is all connected. It is all connected. And if they reduce us to right to work where we have to beg for wages in the desperate state, then we will settle for a lot of dirty things. The people in West Virginia, for example, suffering coal miners there, they don't want to be in those coal mines, but their degraded, as I say, wage and their degraded state and their poverty locks them into that cycle. If they could find a way to clean energy, if they can have clean energy tomorrow, that could pay their bills, pay their mortgage, and fill their bellies, and put their kids in college, they'd be on it tomorrow. They'd be voting blue tomorrow. But the point is, disorganization locks them in a trap. That disorganization has seeped into one of the mightiest organized and progressive states in the Union, which is Wisconsin. It is this state that gave rise to a lot of the modern labor movement. This state gave rise to a lot of the modern left movement. It's unfortunate that desperation and fear, which is what they predicated upon, making you feed off your fear and feed off your brother and your sister and the other to divide you. But by arriving here, I love the title of this conference. By arriving here together, we get to reindex, we get to share, we get to realize that we are not alone, that if a guy from the civil rights, labor rights, and environmental justice movement can be president, elected president of the Sierra Club, then all of us can come from these diverse backgrounds and bring in our robust legacy, history, energy, but also solution to how we move this ball forward. Now, Rosa Parks did not have a lot of the education of a lot of people in this room, nor did she have the money and the resources or the organizations. She was just a tired worker, a mother trying to get home. And she said at the end of the day, it was her dignity. At the point, because of her race and her gender, she had to get up for a white man, that she had to go to jail and be roughed up and brutalized. Remember them. These are the same people. Okay, Mr. Bannon, he represents that legacy. He's openly saying, I want to bring that back, because that's what he thinks America's great. Dr. King has given up his life to say, no, you're not. John Mair brought Teddy Roosevelt to show the world what we will lose. Should we frack, drill, as they say, mine out of existence, our sacred places? And he said to Teddy Roosevelt, well, look at this, bear witnesses, but no, you will not allow this to be destroyed. And we must come together at this moment and this place and this space to reaffirm, renew, reconnect, step out of our little silos. Find your brothers and sisters in this movement. And brothers and sisters, again, I want you to say the words, resist, recruit, train, sustain. Resist, recruit, train, sustain. Thank you.